We are Vanessa's Army. We're always going to be Vanessa's Army.
And tonight, her army is still fighting and growing. 1 year ago, the search was on for Vanessa Guillen after she vanished from Fort Hood. None of her family, nor friends or fellow soldiers knew then that her life was already taken.
Our Jarrell Baker tells us how the community from near and far pulled together to honor Vanessa and use her legacy to spark change.
Justice for Vanessa! Justice for Vanessa!
Dozens gathered at Vanessa Guillen's memorial in Killeen 1 year after her death to honor the slain soldier.
What happened with Vanessa and her memory and her legacy has caused institutional change.
From San Antonio to Dallas, Washington, D.C., and several other cities, vigils taking place to show solidarity and support for the I Am Vanessa Guillen Act. The family says they're overwhelmed with all the support.
We're very grateful that, you guys come out here because y'all are the reason why, Vanessa's case has gone worldwide. Many of the outcomes, the firing the 14 officials, having the one-on-one meeting with the President Trump, we owe this to the people.
The bill stalled out in Congress last year, but should be reintroduced soon. It aims to protect service members from sexual assault and harassment. Several speakers like Cuto Rodriguez, who served in the Fort Hood Independent Review Committee, spoke about the impact of Vanessa's loss.
With this has been an impetus for what I know will be change. I know that change is coming. I am confident that change is coming. It's not going to be easy.
During the vigil, supporters lit candles for Vanessa Guillen and honored 2 service members who stepped up to protect and upkeep Vanessa's memorial here in Killeen.
Her fight, our fight. Her fight, our fight.
In Killeen, Jarrell Baker, 25 News.
Jarrell, thank you. Today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tweeting in remembrance of Vanessa. She says, quote, justice is needed for Vanessa and all service members who face the epidemic of sexual violence in our armed forces. Congress won't stop until we have justice for Vanessa Guillen. Now, taking a look back at the timeline of Vanessa Guillen. Vanessa was last seen April 22nd of last year. More than 2 months later, on June 30th, human remains were found. Fort Hood officials confirmed the remains belonged to Vanessa 1 week later. Starting July 30th, the Guillen family and their attorney started pushing the hashtag I Am Vanessa Guillen bill. She was laid to rest on August 15th.
Vanessa's story never really faded away. 25 News sent a team of reporters to Fort Hood all year long to cover every angle and to investigate other disappearances and deaths of soldiers from post. Our Dennis Turner tonight has a look back.
The case of Vanessa Guillen wasn't just any case. It was the case that had the U.S. Army on the run. The years-long narrative of missing soldiers from Fort Hood quickened with dizzying speed. Before that, the Army labeled missing soldiers deserters or AWOL, labels that applied to Guillen and Morales for months. But the discovery of the bodies left leaders on post struggling to find words to explain what many said began to look like a dereliction of duty at the highest levels of America's fighting force.
And I am really sorry that I was not able to provide them information sufficient to reduce their suffering.
Killeen police finally identified a suspect in the Guillen murder, a suspect who police say committed suicide as they approached him. Aaron Robinson's last selfish act left his girlfriend as the lone suspect in Guillen's death.
She'll be the only one left to be able to serve any sort of a just sentence.
Within weeks, investigators found yet another soldier hanging from a tree near a Temple rail yard. By then, the names of Morales, Guillen, and Elder Fernandez rolled easily off the lips of commanders.
Our most heartfelt sympathy to Sergeant Elder Fernandez's family.
But those commanders still seemed not to grasp the gravity of their dilemma. Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy, though, did.
And it rattles the system of the trust that you have to have in this profession.
The Guillen case in particular stood out, thanks to her family's tenacity and that of their attorney.
Look what happens when you report sexual harassment at Fort Hood. You get bullied, you get hazed, you get harassed, you turn up dead.
A series of investigations started turning up disturbing facts that would bring big changes to the post and stall the careers of those who seemed to ignore what had become all too obvious.
The official party for today's ceremony.
A change of command brought the Army's top commander to Fort Hood, introducing sweeping change to an organization many called complacent.
What happened to Specialist Vanessa Guillen was absolutely horrible, and we're going to do everything we can to uncover everything that happened.
Since beginning our investigation of the disappearance of soldiers here on Fort Hood, we've heard one common complaint. Where were these soldiers' commanding officers, and why didn't they act or act sooner? Well, let me tell you, that is about to change here on this post, and perhaps throughout the entire United States Army. And it did.
We must reset here at Fort Hood and return to those fundamentals of leadership at every level.
Fort Hood's new commander brought with him a plan for change right out of the Human Resources Playbook.
So I think they are concepts that actually work. I think that is a place for the military to start.
Now, not just at Fort Hood, but across the entire United States Army, commanders and their soldiers are said to routinely mix in person and learn from one another, especially on the one day every month set aside for just that purpose.
Once you develop a level of cohesion and trust with somebody, you're going to intervene to protect them.
Meantime, 3 Corps returned from deployment in Iraq, bringing hundreds of soldiers back into the fold on post. Soldiers who had little, if any, idea of the Army-changing turmoil that preceded their return. They had questions, and this time their leaders seemed far better prepared with answers. Outside Fort Hood, though, more troubling developments on the civilian side. A loophole in Texas law would prevent the public from ever seeing the final moments of the life of Robinson.
Committed suicide.
Prime suspect in Guillen's horrible murder. Nor could the state find him responsible.
Was when someone dies in police custody, by definition, they will not be convicted. They are dead.
The Guillen bill's march through Congress slowed to a crawl as investigators from the Army and Congress itself sealed the fates of several leaders in charge on Fort Hood.
Congressman Balderson.
The Guillen bill currently awaits a reintroduction in Congress, pending a report from an independent review commission requested by President Biden. A report scheduled for release in May. On Fort Hood, Dennis Turner, 25 News.
25 News has a look back at some of the biggest stories to come out of Fort Hood, including Vanessa's disappearance. You can catch our special Fort Hood Trouble at a Great Place on Roku, Apple TV, and our 25 News mobile app. And now let's get a first check of our weather this evening with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Matt Hines. Matt?
And tonight we are in preparation mode for the potential of thunderstorms as we head into tomorrow. And if you're sitting there in bed on your phone, how about you just search KXXV in your app store, download the Storm Shield app, and you're ready to go for tomorrow, as this will alert you to any watches and warnings that could be issued for our area as they are needed as we move through tomorrow. Right now, things are quiet. It will be quiet through the overnight hours tonight, so nothing to worry about waking you up in the morning as our First Alert 25 radar is clean, but we will have some sprinkles, maybe a light shower or two out there. And as we take a look at temperatures across the region, 63 degrees in Waco, it's 62 in Temple, 61 in Gatesville, upper 50s already showing up near Hamilton and Lampasas, where you've seen a few breaks in the clouds, middle 60s off to the east where the clouds are still holding on. And as we check out your forecast for tomorrow, so when you head out to work and school, things should still be relatively quiet. It will be cloudy again. An isolated shower will be possible. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. For the drive home and picking up the kiddos from school, that's where we could have stormy conditions across the area. It won't impact everyone at the same time, but we will have the potential for thunderstorms around by mid-afternoon tomorrow. Some of those could be strong to severe, and I'll have the latest details coming up.
All right, Matt. The Save Our Seniors initiative making a big difference when it comes to vaccinations. Coming up, the push to get shots to those that simply can't get out of the house. And the city of Waco looking to turn a little bit more green. It's Earth Day. We'll have details.
The city of Waco is looking to the future, and things might be more high-tech and more green. 25 News reporter Joe Lopez has more on what's in the works to help the city reduce its carbon footprint.
The city of Waco is taking a good look within as the world strives to find the most efficient use of resources with the lowest impact on the planet.
I think clean energy and sustainable energy is just good for the environment in general. And again, as technology catches up to a practical application and really a cost-effective application, I think that's what gets everybody's attention.
Last summer, Waco city officials, along with consultants, put together what's called an energy guidance document, which is basically a playbook on the city's sustainability from air and water quality to energy and pollution.
It takes inventory of that to see where are we in the renewable energy continuum. Do we need to be getting more electric cars? Do we need to be thinking about solar energy on our city buildings? And I think the answer is yes in both of those cases.
On the list of projects, the new fire station number 6 on 25th Street will be equipped with solar panels on its roof, which will generate 45% of the building's electricity. And several cars in the city's fleet are already hybrid, if not electric. And the city is working to install more electric charging stations.
In addition to that, the energy document called for the review of our city electricity going to total renewable resources. So we've converted our city electric contract to totally renewable energy.
Meanwhile, environmentalists like Dr. Alan Northcutt says we need to cut carbon emissions by at least 45% in the next 9 years to prevent what could be a dangerous rise in global temperatures.
When we get into more drought, more heat waves, we're talking about crop failure, and then we're talking about famine. These impacts will just get worse if we don't act.
Dr. Northcutt says people can help by choosing an electric plan that's 100% renewable and making the switch from gas-powered cars to electric ones.
I think we do have a willingness to change. You know, we went from horses to cars, right? You know, and there was some resistance. If you think back, we're going to make that transition just like we did back in the early 20th century.
You can also invest in rooftop solar panels and generate your own power. Joel Lopez, 25 News.
Joel, thank you. Both Jim Holmes and Dr. Alan Northcutt are running for Waco City Council District 5, along with Chara Burns and Royce Montgomery. Early voting for the May 1st city and school elections will start Monday and run through April 27th. As we continue to celebrate Earth Day, one popular Texas chain is trying to make a difference. H-E-B is launching its annual donation campaign to benefit Earth Share of Texas. That's a nonprofit that supports more than 70 conservation groups. Since 2012, H-E-B has contributed more than $13 million to over 500 environmental organizations. Last year, H-E-B recycled more than 527 million pounds of recyclable materials, including 45 million pounds of food into animal feed and compost, and 17 million pounds of plastic. More than half of seniors have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19, but what about those who are stuck at home and can't get to a clinic? Our Adam Schindler has the story.
According to medical professionals, seniors over 65 are at the highest risk for severe COVID infections, making their need for the COVID vaccine even greater.
Seniors definitely are at greater risk for those really bad outcomes, and that's hospitalization and death. So definitely our seniors are a group that we're very concerned about always.
Many seniors are unable to travel for the vaccine, making programs like the Save Our Seniors initiative crucial.
It's something we all need to consider with the reaching those homebound folks, whether they're senior citizens or they're homebound for another reason, for medical reasons. It's important to make that outreach available to them.
Since vaccines have been available, Coriel Health has been working to get the vaccine to homebound seniors.
Anytime a family member or a community member has called and said that they, are homebound or sick or whatever the case, then either EMS or home health has been able to go take care of them.
If you are homebound and would like to get the COVID-19 vaccine, all you need to do is reach out to your local hospital or public health district, and they can help you get it done at home. In Bell County, Adam Schindler, 25 News.
More than 62,000 Texans have been vaccinated through this new initiative. DSHS says 74% of seniors 65 and older in Texas have been vaccinated with at least one dose of a vaccine, and 59% of seniors are fully vaccinated.
COVID-19 hospitalizations among older Americans are down some 80% since the beginning of the year. That means the vaccination campaign is working overall. More than 80% of the elderly have gotten at least one shot as well. Compare that with about 50% of the rest of the adult population. The National Institutes of Health is testing a new experimental drug for severely ill COVID patients. The phase 3 trial includes those hospitalized with life-threatening cases, including acute respiratory failure. The trial will test two drugs, one of them being remdesivir, both alone and in a combination with another drug. American Airlines is looking to start flying global yet again. Coming up, what destinations are on their expanding list? That after the break.
It is a quiet night here across central Texas, probably going to stay that way as well, so sleep easy tonight. But as we head into tomorrow, the good news is we'll probably get a little rain around here. Bad news, some of that could come in the form of some stronger thunderstorms for us. Right now on our Extra Co Eagle Eye here at the 25 News studio, mostly cloudy skies, 63 degrees. Dew points creeping up, still not the highest number though. And winds around the south-southeast at 10 miles per hour. The higher that number gets, the more fuel we'll have for some showers and thunderstorms as we head into tomorrow. So we do have the potential for some stormy weather, and you can see the clouds already building across the state out ahead of our storm system, which is right here in Arizona, right on the New Mexico border. That will continue to make its way into Texas tomorrow, and that's going to be the kicker we need for some showers and thunderstorms here across the area. Not much has changed in the thinking, as I do think the entire area has a shot of some strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow. The highest chance will probably be along and east of I-35, more isolated as you head farther back to the west, where it'll start first probably around lunchtime and then progress east as we make our way into the afternoon hours. Checking out what we are expecting, if in case you missed it earlier, looks like hail will be the main threat. We could get some storms, not every storm, but one or two storms could produce some golf ball up to tennis ball size hail if it can realize the energy in the atmosphere. And again, this is on a scale of 10, so we aren't talking about a very high threat here, but a few thunderstorms could be strong to severe. Can't even rule out an isolated tornado tomorrow, especially east of I-35 where the better moisture will reside. And that's something we will continue to track for you. And as we check out our latest future track coming in for tonight, we do have those shower and thunderstorms that will likely start to kick up as we head into the afternoon. But this is stopping here at 6 o'clock in the morning. Again, spotty showers will be possible, but that's about it. As we head toward lunchtime, that's when the atmosphere will start getting primed. We will have a chance for a couple of showers and thunderstorms by lunchtime, but as we head toward 2 o'clock, look how it just really starts to explode here across the area, especially along and east of I-35. You can see those heavier cells. That will go right on into about 5, 6 o'clock into the afternoon as this progresses east through the area. And then by 10 o'clock, it looks like the last gas will be moving through the I-45 corridor and moving away. That leads us to a nice Saturday and Sunday on the way. So a little rain on Friday and a better weekend on the way thereafter. Latest rainfall totals, not really impressive out there. Again, most of us likely under an inch of rain, but there will be those heavier cells that may produce 1 to 2 inches of rain in a few locations. Best chance of that, again, east of I-35. So for tonight, temperatures will be dipping down into the upper 50s